Hello, we're back onto Woman Without Limits with Pastor George Mathu, my spiritual brother. My God, you don't understand. If you didn't watch this last week, you better buckle your safety belt because we're about to take off. And baby, you don't want to be left behind. This is Woman Without Limits.
When you get married to somebody with a child, is that you're not just marrying that person, you're also getting into that person's life, which might mean that
The other person may be involved in their life.
That's what you're opening yourself up to. That's exactly what you're doing. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work.
Sometimes it doesn't work.
Sometimes it doesn't
Yeah.
work.
She said, I'm going to leave you.
I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave you. And
Are you telling anybody what you were going
I
through?
wasn't telling anybody what I was
You
going
were
through.
quiet.
People didn't know. People didn't know. But when she said, I'm going to leave you, I'm going to leave you. And I said, what do you mean leave? She said, I'll leave you in April.
Don't let what you've done hinder you. Don't you let where you've been hinder you. Don't let what they say hinder you. Don't you let your past hinder you. You're a woman without limits. You're a woman without limits. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. You're a woman without limits. You're a woman without limits. Woman without limits. Na 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 na. Woman without limits. Woman.
She gave you the date.
I said, what? You even have the day you're leaving? So the following day, I'm so distraught. I'm out of myself, and I'm asking the Lord. I remember kneeling in my living room, in what was our living room in an apartment we stayed in somewhere near Kilimani, and I remember kneeling down and asking the Lord, will she leave me? Will she leave me? And the Lord, and this is crazy. In about 3 minutes, somebody calls me. Somebody I had met in FEM. An amazing person. She used to sell properties with her husband, sells properties, those sides of Kitengela and everywhere. She called me and she told me, uko mahali unaweza kaketi?
Please don't make me laugh at this time. Why would you say it like that?
Because that's how she talks with a small voice.
Uko mahali unaweza kaketi?
Haki Njonju, uko mahali unaweza kaketi?
Hey.
I said, yes. Haki, nimeona bibi yako akikuacha. I've just asked the Lord,
is she going to leave?
is she going to leave?
Yeah.
Now God is immediately. I there are several times, maybe some moments when God has really broken through. But this one, because I thought, pengine it's like a threat. Maybe she's just saying it.
Yeah.
She says, Haki, nimeona akipack vitu. Haki,
Oh my goodness.
nimeona mamboxes.
Don't say it like that.
But that's how she told me. I mean, how am I supposed to?
Nimeona mamboxes.
Haki atakuacha. Haki atakuacha.
What?
I said, what? She's going to leave?
So the Lord answered you through her.
Immediately. And I asked her, can we stop it? Tunaweza jaribu lakini sijui. True to her words. I remember going to my dad and I told my dad, my wife is going to leave.
You told him.
I did. I told him. I remember he was at his bedroom with his mom, with my mom. I said, Dad, she said she's going to leave. And he looked at me and listened and listened. And then he told me, don't think anything about it. Just think about that.
What?
He told me, don't think anything about it or what people will say. Those were the first words of healing.
Wow.
So in a storm, my dad,
Again.
he showed up. He told me, it's not about what people say right now. Because people will say everything. You're a pastor.
How? How could you?
Say, don't think. Don't think. Think about yourself. Think about where you are. Mom really tried to keep us together.
I know.
And you tried.
I know.
You really.
We did.
My God, we come a long way. Eh?
We come a long way. Bro, we come a
Ulikuwa
long way.
unanikasirikia unaniangalia hivi.
Yeah. Ni nini bana wewe? Eh? Work it out.
What did you, bro? You can do it, bro.
Nonsense.
You
You
can.
can do it, bro. What is this?
What is this?
Eh?
But what if it's wrong from the beginning? What if it's wrong? I made the vows.
Yes.
It was a marriage.
Yeah.
It was a real marriage.
Yeah. It absolutely
It
was.
was.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So tell me the
I'm
devastation.
leaving you in April.
Yes.
I'm leaving you.
Hi.
So
your dad tells you don't think of
don't think anything
and
about
don't care
it.
what people think or
Don't
say.
think anything about it. Don't think about what people will say.
Because they'll
It
say
will happen.
anyway.
It will happen. And the strength of a father, the strength of a father's words, they reverberate throughout the world.
If a father knew how powerful they are.
It was something I could go back home and endure the last days.
Before the April.
Hey,
So everything you're looking at it's showing April is coming.
I saw boxes coming in. Hey, me, I saw a Kikanta arriving. Guy.
Reality
to this
hit.
day,
Yeah.
I see kantas, mina naangalia hivi.
Eh?
Tuza kiblu kanta, nikakiona kimefika.
What?
And I remember those days. And I remember watching her leave with her things. And it was over.
And that was it.
That was it.
Oh my bro.
How do
Tell
you?
me-
What, okay. And obviously, people have many things that they say, but it is your testimony. It's my story.
Yeah.
This is my story. This
Yes.
is what happened to me.
This is your
It was
story.
never my plan to get a divorce. It was
Yeah.
never my plan to get separated. It was never my plan to move out of a marriage. But it happened.
But it happened.
It happened.
Tell us how it threw you off, because at least I know that part of the story where you got devastated. Tell us about that side.
First of all, are you forgetting that I'm a pastor? You
I'm
seem
not-
to be forgetting.
I cannot forget.
So what do you tell the church?
Hi.
How do you arrive?
Alone.
Where do you go?
Where do you tell
What
them?
story do you begin?
Where do you tell them from?
How do you start?
How? How?
By the way, the woman you know has been my wife.
Yes.
He has decided she wants to leave, and I'm sorry. And I think that's the one thing Mom Wairimo kept saying. She kept saying, George, we should have had somebody there to come and, help
Talk
break
to.
that news.
Yeah.
Because Mom Wairimo carried me through that season. And sometimes, and maybe we don't even understand the power
Yeah.
of authority until you need it. Isn't that amazing? That it doesn't look it until you need it. Until you and
Then you realize.
because my mom was there, Mom Wairimo, she was there at all that, and we walked it out with her.
Yeah.
We walked it out with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was a painful
It
journey,
was
I
a
remember.
painful. It was a painful. Ukiona mtu hivi, don't imagine that you know everything about their life.
You have no idea.
You don't know the
You don't
scars. You
know.
don't know the things that
Yeah.
they've had to go through.
Yeah.
And maybe part of my you know, coming out of the closet and maybe sharing a bit of my story is, you know, it says that we are healed by the stripes of Jesus.
Yeah.
It's not the good parts of Jesus that heal us. It's his bad parts.
bad
It's
ones.
the ugly parts.
The ugly, painful.
The painful things are the ones, that's what you look at and you get healed.
Yeah.
And so many times it's not the good you, the nice you that heals people.
It's actually the bad, the painful, the one you don't understand.
And then there could
Yeah.
be people out there, you know, maybe you're going through a situation, maybe a marriage situation that is so, you know, difficult, because marriage is not like a black and white thing. Marriage has different shades of gray. You can't quite understand. Every story is different. You know, you're in this situation and this is happening to you. So how are you supposed to behave when you're in that situation? And I would just say, listen, you know, just listen to your spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen to your spirit.
Listen
And-
to your spirit.
and
Don't do what somebody else did.
don't do what somebody else
Listen
did.
to God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to the voice of God, and God will heal you, and God will. And we live in a fallen world. We don't live in a perfect world.
Absolutely. Bro, I know as your sister, because it's a journey that we walked, you know, together, and I could see you. You had for so long, and then you there's something you told me that I'll never forget. In fact, I share it with others. You said divorce is like death.
It is like death.
That's what you told me.
The person is in your city, but you know they died. You know they don't exist. It's like, what?
So tell me, bro, how did you break it down to the church?
Hey. Si ni kusema tu, si mtu sasa mtu anasemanga aje.
Ulienda ukasema nini?
Yeah,
Situambie.
see, you just say, guys, I am so sorry to let you know that we've had some issues in our marriage, and my wife, you know, has decided that she doesn't want to be here, and that's it.
She's gone.
She's gone.
What was the reaction?
Some of them were so confused. I remember people coming to hug me. They didn't know what to tell me. You know, we were out there struggling to just try to make ends meet. And we went through such a difficult season. I remember one time a pastor friend of mine coming to me in one of our services, and then he told me, and I just discovered during the service that he was sitting at the back, and I was so excited to see him. And at the end of the service, I said, man, bro, you came to see me at my worst. And this guy told me, hey, you know, Jesus had 12 disciples. Si hata wewe ulikuwa na 12 hapo.
Yeah. Wow.
Even Jesus had 12 disciples.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, you're running a kacha. He says, I think I saw more than 12. He told me, you're doing better than Jesus.
It is well. Like, he was encouraging
He
you
was
move
encouraging me, but
Yeah.
he had no words to encourage me because of how bad things were. And in the midst of, it's amazing because many times in your darkest night, you never feel like it will pass. Like that moment will pass.
You feel like
Those
you're
days
in it
I would
for
go,
life.
Yeah, so it passed.
You took a long time until we now started getting concerned. Like, we were asking you, bro, upon all your looks, everything goes. Like, you have height. You know, that's what women say. I want tall, dark, handsome.
Now,
I don't know about dark,
another
though.
story starts. You know, and I don't even think that people really understand that the greatest forces are spiritual forces. I think we are more inclined to believe things because you can see them. You're seeing something is physical, so you're believing it.
Yeah.
It passed.
You took a long time until we now started getting concerned. Like, we were asking you, bro, upon all your looks, Everything goes, like you have height, that's what
Now-
women say. I want
now-
tall, dark, handsome.
Now,
I don't know
now
about dark
another
though.
story starts. And I don't even think that people really understand that the greatest forces are spiritual forces. I think we are more inclined to believe things because you can see them. You're seeing something is physical, so you are believing it.
Yeah.
We are more inclined to trust things that we see.
That we see and can touch.
And yet there are forces at play even right now.
Yeah.
There's a love between me and you.
Yeah.
It's an unseen
It's
force.
an unseen, yeah. It's a spiritual.
It's a spiritual
something.
faith.
Yeah.
Faith
It's spiritual.
is spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in all that, we forget that the reason why certain things don't happen for people is not because it's not the right time. Have you ever imagined that the devil can hinder you from getting into a place? Did you know that there are certain things
Of course.
that can block you?
Of course.
And do you know that there are
Of course,
covenants?
Daniel.
Covenants are even made in the realm of the spirit. People make covenants. People tie people up. People give seeds. Even in churches, they give money to hold people.
Talk to us now. So, bro, what are you saying?
I'm saying part of the reason why it took me so long was because I didn't know I was bound.
What?
And you can be bound without knowing that you're bound. You can be bound with a smile.
Yes.
Yeah, while smiling.
But
While
you've
encouraging
been-
people, while
but
preaching
you've
to
been-
people.
yeah.
You can be bound. You can be bound.
Tell us about it now.
Bondage is real.
Yeah.
Because bondage is spiritual. People never have to see it.
Yeah.
People never have to. It's transactions that have happened over your life spiritually that hold you captive. And you try to move and you try to move and you're trying to do this, you're trying to do this. You think I never dated?
You did?
I became a serial dater.
Tell us today, Jesus. This is woman without limits. Hey, yeah.
This is men without limits.
What do serial data? Like you would get this person, date them.
Yeah, you, and you're not intending to just date. You are intending, huyu
Ni wangu,
huyu ni
we'll go all
wangu,
the
huyu-
way.
No, this one I will marry. This one I will marry. This one, and I want you to catch something here because this is something the Lord allowed me to go through this so that people can also be set free. That you can be so bound. You can be so bound. First of all, you're bound. You don't know you're bound.
You don't know.
You discover you're bound later. If God has mercy on you.
So you would date and feel that this is it.
And then suddenly,
Yeah.
kikitu. Na nikisema kikitu ni kikitu.
Because you just feel,
You'll just feel nothing for them. Like after 2.5 months, unamwangalia tu hivi.
and you feel nothing.
Unamchukia.
No.
Unamwangalia tu hivi. Unashindwa.
What happened?
My God, I'm just having coffee. I'm not even supposed to be here with you.
No way.
I'm telling you, it would just, and I could tell when it would come. And then to the point where you begin dreading meeting a new person because you know maybe after 2.5 months,
You're going to do
3
the
months,
same thing?
You're going to go through the same thing. I could tell. You could almost predict. I could predict it
That it was coming?
that it was coming.
So you would try again?
You could try against everything. You would say, oh God, thank you. And you would enjoy the beginnings of, wow. And I never slept with them. And I didn't sleep with them. Hii ni ile ya kukutana.
Yeah. You're building something.
You're building
You're
a
building something.
relationship.
And you
You're-
think
yeah.
this is it's gonna work. Bro, are you serious? Then suddenly you feel, nah, this is not it.
It would just cut through. Something would cut your spirit. And you'd say, what? What?
What was I doing?
What is this? What is this? And I knew it was not a real thing from the Lord. Is not, God never forces stuff.
No.
He never forces
No,
stuff.
yeah.
But when you know it's off, it's because you can't control it. many things of God. You know you can control the things of God.
Yeah.
Mungu akikwambia usifanye kitu,
Yeah.
unaweza kumwambia
Wacha nifanye
wacha nifanye
kwanza,
tukutanie huko mbele.
alafu tuongee.
Utaniforgive huko mbele. But the things of
Bro,
the
do you know
enemy,
how many people
when
you're
you are
delivering?
bound,
Yeah.
when you are bound by
Yeah.
the enemy, you don't have a choice.
You don't realize it.
But if you're spiritual enough and if you know God, God is merciful, He'll reveal to you you're bound.
Something is off.
You're
Yeah.
bound.
Right.
You're bound, George.
Right. So, oh my
So you're
gosh.
saying, oh, George,
Yeah.
guy, oyo, unakaa ikania.
Yeah.
Oyo,
I even,
guy.
see, I even tried to introduce you.
Yeah, how many people did you introduce
I
me
brought. I would say,
to?
George,
A
listen.
beautiful
if
one. And you say,
yeah.
huyu.
Huyu,
Na
angalia vile
huyu,
msupu.
ni ile WhatsApp group yako ile unapenda.
Ile unapenda ati human
Yeah,
hair.
yeah.
So uliniambia
Yeah, ni ma human hair.
Upendangi hizi za kuweka.
Hapana, nachukia.
Wengine ni lazima waweke.
Na wengine ni lazima watoe. Okay. Now, I want you to catch this because this is so important for people.
This
This is important for
yeah,
people.
yeah.
You can be bound and not know you're bound. It's possible. Now, and let me say this also.
Jesus.
Kuna watu wametoa pesa.
Hey.
Money has been poured.
For that, I know. Well, can I just tell you something?
Yeah.
So that somebody else can
Yes,
get it.
yes.
There is somebody who paid for us to be written about.
Wow.
Nonsense in the
Wow,
papers and
wow,
all.
wow.
So we realized later that somebody paid for
Wow,
that. So I
wow,
know what you're
wow,
saying.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. These spiritual things are more real. Spiritual things are more real than physical things.
Right. Right.
And we ignore spiritual things to our own detriment. You ignore spiritual things to your own destruction. You ignore it.
You dare
And the
not.
funny thing with the Lord, and you know this about the Lord. The Lord nudges. His is never. He never will push you. He doesn't drive you like cows are driven. He leads the flock.
And you will
Sheep
know.
are led.
And you will know.
Yeah.
When
My
you've
sheep know
gone
my
off,
voice.
You will know.
My sheep know my voice. But he won't drive you like a cow.
No.
He leads you.
Yeah.
And you better follow.
You better
You
follow.
better follow.
Yeah.
In fact, the problem many times with us in following the Lord is you go ahead of God. It's easier for you when you are a little slower in the things of God. Because as long as you're slow, at least bado unamuona.
Hey.
But if you decide you're going to manufacture your own freedom,
That's it.
this one will work. This one, I'll get married by force.
This one must work. And you force it.
And you force
then
it.
somewhere down the line you find, I was wrong. So bro, you would date, you would realize it's not the one, you would leave, you would try again. So every time we are telling you, bro, what's up?
Mnafikiria sijaribu? Kwani mnafikiria nilikuwa wapi?
Hey.
Sinaishi Nairobi. See, I'm here with you. Tunakunywa matai na nyinyi.
Kabisa. So unajaribu, imekata.
I'm trying everything. 2.5, 3 months. Unamwangalia hivi. Unashina, huyu ni nani?
Mimi ndio na date huyu.
Huyu ni nani?
What?
What had I seen? What is this?
And suddenly you don't want.
Suddenly you feel. Ruaigua githethwa.
Okay, that is the side of the sugar cane that's not sweet. You would feel, no, it's not working. So bro, when do you now discover that actually something is being done behind your back spiritually?
Prayer, through prayer, through prayer.
So you decide, no, this thing is deeper than I think.
I realized it's not normal. It's not normal. And that took a long time. And even in the midst, and there's something else I want you to catch here, that you can open a door, and this is in leading to my accident, to the accident that happened.
Yeah,
You
I
can
wanted
open-
us to talk about that.
We can talk about, but you see, all these things are connected.
Yeah,
I hope you realize that.
right.
I hope you realize that was not a normal accident.
Ooh, my
Hello, this is George Mathu, and I am Bishop Kathy's spiritual brother. I'm from Eagles Faith Christian Center, and you are watching Woman Without Limits.
Ooh, man.
It was not an accident like to have a head-on collision with a huge truck in the
Bro,
middle of
let's
the
go.
night.
Let's go there. Let's go there. You get this accident in the middle of the night. Let's start there. How did it happen?
So
You are going home from a haircut.
I'm now preparing for church.
Yeah.
I go for a haircut in
Yeah.
for 10 p.m. and I'm driving on Kiambu Road. When I get to Ngara, your old building,
Yeah.
a voice tells me, put on your seatbelt. I just feel a voice telling me in my heart. We all know the voice of the Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
It's
He's
your
adorable.
conscience is the voice of your spirit, man.
Yeah.
That's the primary way God will lead you is through the voice, through that inner voice.
Yes.
It's not through prophecies.
Yeah.
Prophecies are good,
Yeah.
but they only confirm. So a voice told me,
Put on a safety belt.
And I said, yes, I like the way the seatbelt holds me when I'm in an emergency. When I brake suddenly, I like the way my belt feels.
You say that to
I
yourself.
said that to myself. So I said, I'm going to put it on. And I put it on. In 2.5 minutes, I'm in the worst crash imaginable. Now you need to understand this.
Yes.
You need to understand this. I saw the vehicle coming.
A big lorry, a big truck,
A huge truck, like this 10-wheelers, whatever.
the trailers.
Huge one.
Yeah.
A huge one.
Yeah.
And it's coming. Naimebeba bags of cement. Later on, we were to know it's these ones that carry simiti or whatever. Anyways, it's coming for me, and I'm thinking, no, it can't hit me.
Yeah.
I can see he has no lights.
Yeah.
But surely, and it's raining, it's drizzling. He can't hit me. He can't. In any case, I've got like 5-7 seconds before I get to the guy. I can see. I'm reasoning this in my mind. The minute I say that, he had hit me. The minute I'm imagining he can't
hit me.
he had already hit me.
And you are
I was
veering
on my side,
off to
way
get
off,
out.
way off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he comes and hits you head-on collision.
Head-on collision. My number plate was inside his engine. That's how bad it was. Anyways, no, nasikiliza sasa.
Me, I'm in total shock now. Ebu, hold on. Me, let me tell you first. I get this call.
Yes.
I get this call.
Yes.
And it is Mom.
Mama Remo.
Mama Remo, our spiritual mother, is the one calling me and telling me, oh, have you heard? I'm like, heard? And then she says, my son is in an accident. Please go and find him. I call your father. Your father tells me, don't come. Do not come.
Oh my God.
Because if you see him like this, you will not survive. Don't
oh my
come.
God. Oh my God.
I'm like,
oh my
Jesus,
God. Oh my
what's
God.
going
oh my
on?
God. Oh my God.
You know, so
Oh my God.
we are completely
Yeah,
worried.
yeah.
And then now tell me, so you're hit, you're in the car, you're stuck.
In the midst, this was very interesting, very strange. In the midst, have you ever, you've never been in an accident? At
I
least
have, but not that.
Hii ya kugongwa sasa hiyo ndio unaita accident. It's not an accident. In an accident,
Yeah.
and anybody who's been in an accident knows this, it's like everything goes into slow motion. It's a very strange thing. Everything is slowed down. I can't explain it. Maybe it happened for me, maybe, but I've had 1 or 2 people tell me that they felt like slow motion, because I went through this thing.
Yeah.
But I felt somebody hugging me like this. In the collision, as I was coming towards the Nini,
The truck.
I felt somebody hug me. I felt like a warm embrace, and it held me until, but I blacked out. Of course, I blacked out because it was too major a Nini.
An accident.
It was too major an accident to
Yeah.
survive that kind of. So I black out. After about maybe 45 minutes, I come to, and people are trying. I see everybody is around me, and everybody is trying. Is telling you know, you don't have to move. You don't have to move. You know, they were trying to get me out. I can't move. My legs are jammed onto the dashboard, and I was driving a huge car, that Land Cruiser V8, huge car. In anything, and when you look at what it looked like. And so I'm praying and I'm wondering, what is this? And I'm seeing everybody's on the outside, and they're asking me, do you have a phone number to somebody we can call? Do you have anybody we can call? And I couldn't remember any number, but I remembered my mom's number. I remembered her number. And I gave it to them. And when we called my mom thought, no,
You're joking.
these are people who have kidnapped my son. Wanataka pesa.
You can't see it, of course.
And then she heard my voice. I said, Mom, my mom. She says, yes. I said, I've been in an accident.
Are you talking about your
My mom, my
your
physical
biological
mom, my biological
yeah,
mom. Yes.
Right.
I've been in an accident.
Yeah.
And she tells my dad. My dad also thinks that there are people
Who
who are trying to play around with my son's
Because you're not
life.
talking like yourself.
Yeah. So he arms himself, comes with his guns.
Yeah.
Once he takes so long to load them, my mom is telling, he's just loading his guns.
They are dying today.
I'm preparing myself to go out to meet these people who are
Yes.
playing around with my son's life. He comes with all his guns.
Yeah.
When he arrives the scene, he almost collapses.
When he sees you.
They had to take him back to the car to sit him down. Said, Mzee, tafadhali, kaa kwa gari."
It was that bad. He saw something he has
terrible.
never seen. He told
saw
me.
something he had
He
never
told me
seen.
not to come. He told me.
But as he's doing that, he says to God, "But God, you showed me that George would have a son. You showed me that George would have a son. How can this be? You showed me his son. You showed me. He was seated on my lap.
Hey.
You showed me." My dad.
Hey. Again.
My dad again. He's showing up. In the car. As I had that accident, I lifted up my hand and I said, I will live. When I came to, I said, I will live and not die. I will live and not die. I remember saying that. I
You
will live and not
said
die.
it.
I can't move my legs. I don't even know how am I going to get
can't
out of
feel.
this place.
You're
I
not
remember
feeling.
Before when my dad was about to collapse, he told me, "George, you're fine. You're going to be fine." My mom, they're all walking outside. They're walking like they're in so much shock. They're all saying, "God is with you." Everybody is out there. And they are these guys who are sent of God. I do not know where they came from. But there was the fire brigade there because they couldn't break. Either they were going to break my legs, cut my legs off, and leave the legs in
They
the
were
vehicle.
that stuck.
Yeah. Either they were going to do that, or I die, and because I was bleeding to death. People have been woken up. People are praying. I remember a lady who was woken up by the Lord, and the word was pray. They were shown a vision of my vehicle, a big white vehicle in an accident, and the man was bleeding to death. And then God says, pray for him, he's bleeding to death. Pray that I will use him again. Pray that I will use him again.
Wow.
Look at that. Isn't it interesting that the thing that will kill you is not the thing that you think? The thing that ends up killing you is not the thing you think will kill you. You think it's the impact of the accident, but it could be losing blood.
Yeah.
You lose blood, you could have survived.
Yeah, but you lose too much
And
blood.
so the prayer was, pray that he's bleeding to death. Pray that I will use him again. Pray that I will use him again.
Wow. Where is your mind at this time? Are you afraid?
My mind, I'm not afraid, but I can see this leg is here. Because I broke the hand like on several, like 3 fractures.
Yeah.
I had a shattered elbow.
Yeah.
And so steel on my elbow. They say you can remove it for 3 years. There's steel on my femur.
So eventually they remove you from the car?
Eventually, I don't even know how they did it, my God. But this huge fire vehicle began to jack my car. And and the legs are getting loose, and they're getting loose. And I could see the pedals of the vehicle were behind me. So you're wondering, how is this? How are my legs not broken
in front of the...
here, and the pedals are behind me? How did that happen? How was that?
The impact pushed
That
you.
impact it was crazy. So this vehicle began to jack me. And eventually my legs were free.
Yeah.
And then there was a nurse who had been sent from our hospital.
Yeah.
They had brought an ambulance.
Yeah.
To take me quickly. Thank God the accident was just outside our hospital on Kiambu Road.
Right.
So when they were coming for me, they just got me out properly, lifted me from the vehicle, got me out.
Are you in pain?
I'm
Are you
not in
feeling
pain.
them? You're
No
not in pain.
at all.
So that thing they say that you don't feel pain at that time
By the
is
way, zero pain. Like
with broken leg.
nothing, zero, nothing, and I'm seeing you. I can communicate with people.
But
It
bro,
felt
let me
nothing.
tell you the truth. You were traumatized for a long time.
By the way, I
When
was.
I came to meet you, it's the track, the track. That's all you were saying. Anybody that came, the track. You are so traumatized. Oh, we were really praying for you.
You know what I did? When I got into hospital, when they brought me into AAR hospital, I was so tormented. Because I began to see the playing out of the accident. I would see that vehicle that I had overtaken, and then I got back into my lane. I would see it starting to rain, and I would see the truck coming for me. It kept hit, and I would see it. It would be like a loop. It would run on a loop in the hospital. It kept running. It would just keep running through my head, and I would say, "What is happening to me? What this thing?" And I can't sleep. You can't sleep. That's the other thing they don't tell you. You won't sleep.
Because of
What
the
does a
trauma.
person look like when they haven't slept for 48 hours?
Oh, yeah, bad. Yeah.
They don't know where they are. They don't know how to.
They hallucinate even.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the worst is you're trying to sleep, but you can't go to bed. You can't go to bed. And I was in IC. I was at the ICU for about 5 days.
Yeah.
And then they moved me. They moved me to my own room.
Yeah.
And in my own room, I remember how difficult it was for me to transition to that room because I kept telling the people, I'm hearing so many voices, I'm hearing so many, this is, and so they had to pray for the room. I became
Yeah.
so sensitive spiritually. I could tell there was something going on.
Tell me about that, because I remember you saying that you were so clear about the spiritual world. You could,
And so people like Jackson,
Yeah.
Benjamin, and I was Dr. G. They were out there every evening, just coming to pray for me, and then I became peaceful. But something happened. People will never know what happened.
yeah.
In one of those mornings, coming into morning, I had a vision. I had a vision of Jesus.
Wow.
And in this vision, the Lord met me, and he began to place gifts on me. And he was giving me, he would go into his robe and he would say, you know, here's a gift. Here's a gift. And I say, Jesus, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. And he spoke words to me that I'll never forget. He said, I have made you worthy.
Hey.
I have made you worthy.
Hey.
And then
Hey.
he told me, go live your life like I lived my life. And he told me this, welcome. What was it? What were those words? Welcome to your new life.
He said that.
He told me, welcome to your new life.
Because, bro, let me tell you, I've known you over the years. You,
Yes.
before the accident, and you,
Are you serious?
you're two people.
Where watch
No, bro, you are two people. Like Yani, that George, that
you
one.
serious?
That one, he went. This is Pastor George, and you're a complete new person. Even your personality, your love for people, it increased. Like, I can't
When
even
I
believe.
met the Lord,
Yeah.
and the love I felt. I know people talk about many things, and what did he look like? But he seemed like he was in a mist for me. I was not so much looking at his face as I was hearing what he was saying. But the love, the way he loved me, and the way he understood when he was giving me gifts, and I could tell now the gifts he was giving me, a wife, a child, a minister. He kept giving me things. I didn't know them. I didn't know what he was giving me. And removing and breaking the forces that had bound me all these years. They were broken by Jesus.
Because you're saying even the accident was involved
It
also.
was-
It was it was all one
It was
package.
one. It was one.
now to come and finish you.
Yeah.
To finish
yeah.
you now.
That I would not live.
So it was you're never going to get married.
I'm never going to get married, never going to get children, never. You think you know, atajua ajui. You think you know, but you don't know. And here's the deal. Think about this. I want you to think about this. Think about this, my sister. The last day of your life looks like a normal day.
That's the thing.
Think about how crazy it is if we are not connected to God. Because the enemy can manipulate anything. He can manipulate forces. He can manipulate things to work against you if you're not connected. But we are connected to Christ.
Yeah.
And he never hides things from us,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
As many as are led by the Spirit, they are the sons of God. The way you know you're a child of God is because you
are led.
Amen.
By the Spirit
There's
of
a
God.
voice on you have an internal GPS system.
Yeah.
And I remember saying something on the Saturday before my accident. I remember we had a meeting in church, and I was addressing some youth guys, and this was my message. And it was on somebody's recording. What would you do if today was the last day of your life?
You were saying
Yes.
that before the accident?
The day of the accident.
That
the
day?
Saturday of the accident. That was my message. That's the message I preached. What would you do if today was the last day of your life? What would you do? Unbeknownst to me that it was scheduled to be the last day of
your
my life. You think about God. You think about the goodness of God.
Jesus.
You think about the layers. You think about the people he raised to pray for me. Think about even our spiritual mama who woke up the world.
Yes. The universe.
Pray for my son George. Pray
The
for
universe.
George. Pray
now.
Pray.
She sent us to pray. I called our intercessors. Everybody
I
was in
remember a
prayer
whole
for
bunch
you.
of people from FAM coming
Yeah.
on that night at the hospital before I went in for my procedures.
Yeah.
Before now they're going to repair my leg, they're going to try and I remember people just praying. I remember Akina Mr. Jenga, I remember Pastor Ann, a whole bunch of people were out there
Praying for you.
praying for me,
Mom really mobilized.
praying for me. There were people
Yeah.
praying for me.
Yeah. She mobilized people. Mom did. She mobilized everybody to pray. So, bro, now you've come, you've realized that this is what the enemy was after. He wanted not just for you to live, but to die,
To die.
completely.
He comes to
And-
kill,
and-
to steal, and to destroy.
And never wanted you to get
Yeah,
married.
never get married. You will never be happy.
So-
you,
so
huyu, huyu anaitanga
Handsome.
Huyu.
Atakufa peke yake. With
Huyu.
no, yeah. Tutaona hiyo handsome itampeleka wapi?
My God.
What?
So that George died. It was interesting that even a series of messages I was preaching before that time was in Galatians 2:20. I am crucified with Christ. It's no longer I that lives, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live, I live for the Son of God. So everything about the new life was like a transition. I don't know that George. This is the George I know. You know? And so understanding and then healings began in my hospital room. Things would begin happening. People who had no children. Allah, watu wanakuja.
You would pray for
I
them.
would pray for them.
After you met Jesus now.
After I met Jesus. And I remember waking up that morning and I would say, Kai, Jesus, did you come to visit me in hospital? And then like he wanted to give me a confirmation. People would come into my hospital room and I could discern, you know when you meet the Lord, you have, like a residue of, like when you've been in the fire, you radiate with something, you radiate with the glow of the fact that he was there. I could see people like, yeah, naona ako na kitu. I had never seen, you operate in different gifts.
Right.
Come on, they're different gifts. We all
Yeah,
know they're
of
different
course,
gifts.
of course.
The gifts of the Spirit.
Of the Spirit, yeah.
And I remember seeing people and I would see something on somebody and I would say, God, what is that? Or you would see what a person is carrying on their inside. Not everybody,
Yeah.
but somebody who would come into the hospital room and I would see them. And I would say, what is that? And the Lord began to show me that it's the gifts of
That he gave
of-
you are
of-
now operating.
of discerning
Discerning
of spirits. You're able to see.
Your spiritual antennas became to.
I could see. And I'm saying like now, when you get really intense in prayer, yes, he'll allow you.
Yeah.
He doesn't want you to operate like a zombie, like, oh,
Yes.
He doesn't want you to operate like that. I'm
Yes.
just telling the people
Yeah.
that sometimes, as the Spirit allows,
allow you to
he
see.
will allow that every once in a while for you, and it aids the ministry that he
Yeah.
has called you into.
Right.
So it's nothing spooky or anything that,
Right.
oh, guy.
Yeah. It's nothing spooky.
Yeah.
So you would now begin, to see people getting
I
healed.
would see people getting
transformed.
healed.
And,
I would see, especially a lot of people, would come to me for prayers for children. And I remember one particular lady who was one of their nurses, Leah, and she says, you know what, Pastor, you're about to leave this place, and I know you've been praying for so many people. Me and my husband have not had a child many years. I think it was about 8 years or something. She said, just please pray for me. Pray for me, Pastor. And have you ever been in a season like you know your name?
yeah.
Like if I pray for you, it
It's
will happen.
done.
It will done. It's done. So I told her next year at this time, you're going to be holding your child. At this time next year.
Yeah.
And then I had this thing, pick up your hand and tell the Lord, thank you, Jesus. Next year at this time I will be holding my child.
And she repeated.
And she repeated. And she got her child.
Wow.
She got her child.
Wow.
But she's the one, you remember the one I was telling you who lost her child, but then called me and I laid hands on her new pregnancy, and
Yeah.
she carried the pregnancy,
Yeah.
and now the baby is almost a year. I
Wow.
was there in hospital.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's a guy, I'm leaving the hospital. He's a guy, who had been stationed at my hospital room door because there were so many people coming to see me.
Yeah.
There was so much activity. So this guy was at the door and he told me, Pastor, my wife and I have never had children.
Wow.
I told him the same thing. Next year
Next year at a time like this.
Do you know the guy, I was with him the other day. He told me, Pastor, we have been looking for you. Do you know, 2 years ago we got a child. We have never seen you. We've never come to testify. We got a baby girl. Nikawatia pesa ya maziwa.
Wow.
But
That's
I'm just
awesome.
I'm just saying, but over and above the gifts, and these are gifts, and
Yeah.
this is Jesus doing
Yeah.
it. But what I need you to catch is that I was so bound, I didn't know I was bound. And so the accident, the Lord, what the enemy meant for evil,
Yeah.
God used it to reset my life and to give me a new life.
Yeah. He turned it around for good.
To give me a new life.
Right. So you discovered all this. Oh my gosh. So it was bondage. I was trying this relationship. It wasn't working. Then the accident. Then God, boom, opens your eyes to see. And he gives you a new life. So tell me.
And a wife.
That's
Wife.
where we are going. That's where we are going. Yeah. Tell me, how does that turn around? And when does he now show you who you are
My God.
going to get married to? How does he bring your wife along? Your pretty wife. Hey, God is a blesser.
God is very interesting.
Yeah.
Before the accident, I was in FEM. I went to one of those moms meetings that we love so much. And I remember mom telling one of her ushers, put him near me where I can see him.
Yes.
I remember mom. And then I was sat, I think, behind mom.
Yeah.
And there was a group of people coming from Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
And as they were being introduced, I remember a voice, I remember looking like this. And I remember a voice telling me on my inside, saying, your wife looks like that. I said, what?
Hey.
It didn't say that your wife
Looks like that.
like that. And she was wearing a mask. Nikasema, hey, really? Nikaanza kucheka ndani.
Oh, wow.
I said, really? And so after the end of the meeting, guy, are you to imagine that they were invited sijui up there where we normally go?
Yes.
Na mimi hata pia nilikuwa invited huko juu. And mom,
with the wife looks like this.
your wife looks like this. And then mom says, Pastor George, come and prophesy over these people.
Hey.
And it just, I was shaking. Nilikuwa namwangalia hivi. Sasa alikuwa ametoa mask, nikaona, my gosh, this woman is ni muresh. This is the real deal.
She's too mrembo.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
And then it's not just her beauty, obviously. I mean, every now the church knows it's not just her beauty. She's a woman of God. She's a person who was raised up for, by God. Her mom used to tell her, be careful who you date. Be careful not to date because your husband is on the pulpit.
Wow.
So God, whilst, and I want you to catch this. Think about how amazing God is. While I'm busy serial dating,
Yes.
looking and searching and
Yeah.
desperate,
Yeah.
here is a girl God had preserved for me who had never been with any man. Just
Waiting for the
the
husband.
perfect picture of grace.
Oh.
that you may look at George and think, well, George doesn't deserve. Of course I don't deserve. Of course. I'm agreeing with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm wondering, what is George doing on this other side?
Yes.
What
But
is he
who
doing
de-
in
but who
Woman Without
deserves?
Limits? What's
But
this guy doing?
who deserves,
What is he
bro?
doing in Woman Without Limits?
Yeah. It's God. It's the grace and mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with you, but it's mercy that has qualified. It's the grace of God. It's Jesus who told me, I have made you worthy.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with Christ. It's not me.
It's not you. So God now bombarded you with this most beautiful, gorgeous girl.
She is, and then nani mu America, and she lives on the other side.
Yeah.
But do I say it?
Yes.
Do I say it? Ako kule UK
US.
America.
US.
UK America.
Yeah.
Inaitwango US.
Yeah.
She's out there. And then she comes and this is before the accident. So on the night of the accident, as I'm leaving the barbers to go into that crazy accident, I text her because we had begun speaking. And I say, and then I'm excited. Nikifika nyumbani atakuwa ametext back. I never read the text for 2 months
Eh?
because I turned off my phone
Yeah.
and I went on a 40-day fast. So even in hospital, I was on a fast. And I wasn't talking to
What do
people.
you
I turned off my
mean?
phone. Yes, I was having soups. Then when I got home, I would have some fruit every once in a while. But I was really on a fast. And so that intense time of meeting the Lord and all that, God had already prepared my spirit for it. I like Proverbs 18 verse 14, that the spirit of a man will preserve him in infirmity. That even though like your head is not understanding, but something on your inside keeps telling you,
preserve you.
it's going to be all right, George. It's going to be all right, George. So when I turned on my phone after 2 months, I see this.
There's a reply.
There's a reply. Oh, I hope you're fine. We heard about what happened. Sijui what.
Yeah. You're like, somebody
Really?
cares.
Somebody
Yeah.
cares. And then we start speaking. Sema kuongea.
Sema kuongea. On a
would
daily
talk.
basis.
We would talk. And I remember my first conversation with her. I said, Kai, it feels so good. Ni kama ananimwagilia mafuta.
Unapona tu haraka.
naongea na yeye hivi. Nasema, hebu rudia.
You are getting healed fast.
We would speak for so long.
No, bro, how can you explain the goodness of God? No, He preserved for you, and I can see that.
Can you see it?
A beautiful girl, God-fearing, ready for you. Like she's not a knife, she's a wife.
My gosh. Like everything you ever imagined a wife would be.
And tell us now, your son, your father saw him years ago.
Sasa, the son my dad had seen. Well, by the way, when we got married, like we got our child, what was it, 10 and a half months, like after, we have to calculate for people.
Yes.
By the way, hii kitu haikuwa mbele. Calculate, we always tell them, ebu hesabu hapo.
It's past 9 months.
Yeah,
it was the 10th
It
month.
was a honeymoon
Yeah.
baby. It was a honeymoon baby, but you see a lot of people, you know how crafty people are.
Yeah.
Na huyu pasi ni kama alikuwa ameingia. No.
Bro, you're
God
too much.
preserved us.
And
God
gave you the
preserved us.
most handsome little boy.
Oh,
Oh,
my God.
Jonathan.
Oh my God.
He's
Jonathan.
too cute.
Jonathan.
He's too
Jonathan.
cute. And now he's even walking on things.
Yeah, he's walking around. He's making a lot of noise. He's saying "dada," and he's now almost 10 months.
So your tears have been all wiped.
He's turned everything around.
He gave you a new life.
And just And exactly what Jesus told me,
Yeah.
because his words never fail.
Yeah.
He said, welcome to your new life. He gave me a brand new life.
Bro, what would you tell somebody right now, looking at that camera, that is struggling to find their new life?
I would say to you, Jesus is all you need. Jesus is enough. Think about it. Jesus paid it all. That it's not your goodness that leads you, that makes you get to know who God is. It's not what you do, it's what he's done for you. Now we act out of what he's done for us. And if you will receive those words the Lord gave me, I have made you worthy. Think about it. I want you to think about it just for a moment. It's not you. You're not the point of reference. The point of reference is the Lord himself. That he himself, he has made you worthy. And what looks right now like an impossible situation. Maybe you're caught between a rock and a hard place. Maybe you find yourself like, I don't know where to go. I can't go forward. I can't go backwards. I can't go sideways. Listen, up is a good place to go. God is a very present help in trouble. When I was caught up in that vehicle, when I couldn't move, and I picked up my hand and I said, I will live and not die. Here's a good word for you. Keep saying the right thing. Keep speaking. Speak the word only. There are some great promises that he has for you. And so all you got to do right now, find the scripture that lines up with where you are, and keep saying it. Keep agreeing with God's word. Say you will live and not die. Say I'm the head and I'm not the tail. Say I'm going over and not under. Say my bills are paid. Amen. And I have a feeling that everything in your life is going to be amazing. And this is going to be the beginnings of a new life. And I want to announce this to you, that if you can do this, welcome to your new life. Life, joy unspeakable and full of glory. God has some of the greatest things in your life are yet to happen, and you're coming into the greatest season of your life. I love you so much, just as much as I love my sister. And what an amazing time. God bless you. I love you guys.
What an amazing time. Oh my gosh. This is Woman Without Limits.
Wow.
I went to college in Australia. I came home. I was not offered a job immediately, which surprised me. I thought it would be Rebecca's here.
Welcome home.
Yes, welcome home. Here's your job.
Yeah.
Anyway, I spent about a year at home when I came home from college, and then I was offered a job at NLC. My job had nothing to do with music or creative ministry. I was brought on to be the sales administrator and the secretary to our youth pastor. Yes.
After learning music.
Yeah, right?
At Hillsong.
I know, I'm coming back to be the anointed psalmist
Of
for
course.
Africa.
Like, darling, check has nothing on you.
What? That's what I thought. Anyway, I come home and they're like, awesome, welcome home. The position we have available right now and where we have a need right now is in our administration department. Are you interested? And I was like, okay, I can fake humility for this. I can pretend like, sure, I'm willing to serve. And I did.